Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to show you the Queen's Gambit. So the Queen's Gambit starts with the d4, d5 and then white plays c4. So you're attacking black center. If black takes, then white should play e4, attacking the pawn and taking the full center for himself. So this is called the central variation. You can play c6. It's called the modern defense, attacking the pawn on d4, and white has many ways to defend: bishop e3 or knight f3. So the threat is still this. So you can also at the same time play black can also play b5, the Greco variation. So you're trying to protect this pawn, and white should obviously counterattack that with a4. So there are many defenses. You can play c6 or a6 to defend the pawn structure. But after this, that's a bad idea because of the rooks. So c6 is always better because you can't take the pawn back. So after c6, takes and then takes. White has a full center, but black has this solid queen space on the queen side. So you can play knight c3, knight f3 or whatever you like. And if we go back here again, if black doesn't take it and plays e6, it's called the Queen's Gambit declined. White can take and it has a normal position now, with black having an e file, which is better for black because after castles he can put his rook and target the e file. So here another thing that white can do is block in the bishop, but that isn't such a good idea. Instead you can normally develop, it's called the Queen's Knight variation. So you're attacking this pawn again. So black can again develop with knight f6, and after that you play queen b3, which is same like the the French defense, Paulson attack, which after you're again trying to trade off these pieces. So this is type of a Miller-Barry gambit, but the problem is that you can't plot the bishop there. So there are many ways you can play this. Either you can play bishop d7, or anywhere this bishop can go, but that will be attacked with this and you have to go back somewhere else. So, or you can just take this, in which after trading you win a piece. But it's not exactly winning a piece because you fall into the Queen's Gambit in Miller-Barry Gambit. So that's actually a bad idea. This is like the Miller-Barry Gambit in the French defense Paulson attack. So if we go back again, if black declines the gambit, you can play e3, which is a bit of a solid move, and the thing that is after takes, you have already developed a piece and this bishop can always go out and you can castle. So if we go back again, e3 also makes up a solid pawn structure and also prepares this move c5, which will make a 4 pawn structure which is very strong. Or you can, after e3, black can also counterattack with c5, which again if takes, then the bishop comes out and black is better. So another move here is knight f3 or knight c3, anything is fine. Or you can just take and after takes you can just check. Or if black wants to take this first, So let's just say white plays something like g3. So after black takes, you take, and then after takes, you don't need to take it with that pawn if you don't want to. You can just play queen a4 check and regain the pawn back. So again, if we go back, you can also, after the queen's gambit declined, if white plays knight f3, you can check the king with your bishop, and you're also threatening this. So white can play knight c3 or bishop d2. Anything is fine. But after this, if white plays something like bishop f4, then it's the same thing, you check, and the knight obviously has to go, and after takes, you can also take, and you can develop normally. So that's the queen's gambit declined. Now we're going to look at the Slav's defense. So if we go again, here the Slav's defense after c4 is c6, which protects this pawn, but not with the e pawn, because then you'll have two pawns in the center after takes and takes, and there'll be an open c file for both sides. So here again there's a very strong Slav's defense is a very strong opening. So if white tries to get it back and plays knight c3, then you can also just make it more solider with e3. It's called a semi-Slav defense. Accelerated move order. You don't need to include the accelerated move order, but now you have a triangle kind of structure. So, but the only problem with this is that it blocks in your bishop again. But this bishop is free to go anywhere. So after e3, you can either close in, or you can take the pawn, or you can just normally develop your pieces with bishop f4 or knight f3. So anything is fine in the Slav's defense. So again, after c4, if black plays something like knight f6, it's called the Marshall defense, and after takes, the bad thing with the Marshall defense, I mean it's not a bad thing, but if you take with the knight, it obviously gets chased around, and the point of the queen's gambit is to get two pawns in the center, and you achieve that by getting two pawns in the center anyway by attacking the knight with tempo. So, and if you take the pawn with the queen, then the queen's just attacked, but you both have simple development, and you can always strike back with moves like c5 and then e5 after takes. But if white takes on c5, then obviously he can either put his knight on the back rank, or he can lose the castling opportunity. And after he takes with something, you can play d6 or e6 and attack this pawn again. So if this plays, then this, and obviously there's nothing to protect that. If a3, then just take it, because it's attacking the knight and also this. So if you go back again, here, so instead of the Marshall defense, you can also just normally develop and play moves like d3 or g3. ఏంది నువ్వు మీటింగ్ మధ్యలో ఉంటే, and you'll have a good game. So g3 is trying to attack, and it's also a queen's gambit declined, because after takes you can take it or just leave it alone, because that pawn isn't going much far. You can also play knight f6 or knight h6. But knight h6 is also a very bad move because it puts the knight on the corners and you can just take this pawn. After which it's attacked, just move it to the corner and pin the knight to the king, and you can develop normally and attack this knight. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.